Okay, so started a podcast and it's already been 9 episodes. So for a 10th episode, I actually had no idea what to do. So that's why I was thinking maybe I should tell you guys a story. I don't know how long this would be, but I just want to talk about few things like the story of how I came to US and few of the other things, my experience and stuff. So yeah, let's start the story. You guys might be wondering like how I came to the US. I came to the US in 2021, but the story starts from 2018. I actually got graduated in 2018, and after that, initially I had no plans, like zero plans of going to US. Because at that time I was like, I just graduated, and just like any other students who just graduate, just wanted to get some job and get some money. But we have a friends group of 6 7 people. I don't exactly remember the number right now, but yeah. And among that friends, Amit, guy from episode number 2, yeah, he decided to come to US because I mean he's a super talented guy and he always had the plan to come to US. And yeah, he came to US before COVID, and I think that's one of the reasons somehow most of the people in our group got influenced. And yeah, I was no different. And after working for I think like 13 months, felt like okay, I also need to explore something different because the work that I was doing in Nepal, I mean, it was pretty good, but still I felt like I can do more. So that is one of the reason. And then after I started my GRE. So the story actually begins from here because there are like ups and downs and so many things from here. So luckily or unluckily, I don't know. I started my GRE right before pandemic, and I think I started on December 2019. I'm not pretty sure right now, but I actually left my job I think like 2 months before the COVID lockdown. So you can imagine like how much I was, cuz I left my job right before pandemic just to pursue GRE. And I had my date for the GRE. I think it was like July 2020. And then I was like, okay, maybe it's not gonna get bad because probably we'll have this lockdown for a few months, not even few months, few weeks, and then we would go back, and then I can take my exam. But yeah, nothing like that happened. And then I was studying for GRE during the whole lockdown period. I think like 2 months I studied. And after that, things were getting worse. I mean, lockdown was getting longer and longer. And then I was like, okay, I don't really care much now for the GRE. So I might have to think something else. And you guys might be wondering, like, why GRE? Because MARC, it doesn't need GRE. Yeah, but I I thought about doing GRE because at that point I was not very sure like if I want to go for MArch or Masters of Science in Architecture. And then after I was like, okay, I'm gonna go for TOEFL because GRE is very hard. I mean, at least for me, it was very hard. So I thought I should do TOEFL first. And then I was preparing for TOEFL, and also I was preparing my portfolio during that time. And after taking my TOEFL exam, I started applying. And then I think I applied for like 5 universities. So, University of Minnesota, University of Utah, and then Iowa State University, Oklahoma, University of Oklahoma, and then what else? There is another one that I don't remember right now. Maybe I will add later if I remember. So, among all the university, Iowa State I didn't even expect anything from Iowa State because I was like, okay, I'm just gonna try because initially I didn't know much about Iowa State. So, first college that offered me for the admission enrollment was University of Oklahoma. So I even talked to one professor there, and then I was like, after getting their offer, I was like, maybe yeah, this is a good option. But later, when I do all the calculations for expenses and everything, it was not enough. So I think it was already like April, I guess, April or May of 2020. 2020. I'm not very sure about the timeline, but because I came on 2021 August, so I assume it was like one. No, no, no. Okay, yeah, I get it. So it was, I think, June, January, Feb, March, April around of 2021. So you can imagine like the whole process of 2018 to 2021, and I just worked for 1 year, and after that it was like everything blurred due to COVID. I worked on few projects at that time. I was doing a part-time job because I already blew up my full-time job, so I had to get something. So I was working a part-time job, and also I had few residential projects. So I was doing own freelancing job as well. And initially, yeah, I thought I won't be going to US on the fall 2021 because the offer that I got from University of Oklahoma, it was not enough. And I was like, okay, I cannot survive there with the money, the stipend they are giving, so maybe I should wait for the next year. So that was the initial plan. But later on, Iowa State sent me an offer saying you get 25% of assistantship, and then I think like 25% waiver from your tuition. And when I did the calculation, math, and everything, I was like, okay, this is also not very enough. And then I told the person who was on the other side, I guess it was administrative person, that could you provide me with 50% at least so that I can consider about it. And then later, I think like 2 weeks or 3 weeks after, sorry, I got the offer from Iowa State, revised offer that, okay, you got an offer of 50% tuition waiver and then 50% assistantship. So that is 10 hours of our time. So I still did a calculation, and it was still pretty hard. It looks pretty hard because the amount that I need to survive with tuition and everything in Iowa State for the first year was $12,000, and the monthly that I was getting was 900 something. So I was like, how do I pay my tuition and also pay my expenses, like food and rent and everything? But I talked to my friend, and they were like, why do you even worry about that? Just take a chance because it's not a big amount. Maybe even your father can help you on that. So yeah, I thought about taking a chance. And after that, there comes another another big struggle, like finding out the finding the dates for finding out the dates for interview. And initially I thought about doing it in Nepal, but in Nepal the interview dates were like very much sporadic and not available at that time. So I decided, okay, I should go to India. And even the issue with taking dates on India, it was like crazy because you have to wake up in the midnight, or like s- there is no time, there was no time that you will find the date, so you just have to keep checking. And one day I just felt like I need to check a date, and then I woke up randomly at like 3:30 in the morning, and then I and there was like a myth that they normally release date at like 3:33, or there was like something like 2:33, 3:33, something like that. And then I checked at the exact moment, and I got the date, which was, I think, July, July 15th, somewhere around like that. But the thing is, I have to reach to US uh, around August 16 because my class will start on August 23rd. So I was like, okay, still I'm gonna try it because I mean I could still postpone the travel date for like 2 weeks. I can ask for extension for the college. So that was the initial plan. And then I went to India, and even going to India was so crazy at that time because there was no flight. I think there were, but they were like hella expensive. It was like 10 times expensive than the normal price. And I was like, okay, screw it. I can't do it. So I have to take a bus. And the travel journey was like 2 days in the bus. And when I reached to India, oh my God, my back, my body, everything was like freezed up, completely jammed up. And then when I reached to India, I didn't even got much time to travel because I mean there was some time, but still I decided not to because I don't want to take the risk of getting COVID and not able to travel later on. And then yeah, I stayed in India for 15 days just in a room doing nothing. And had to stay for 15 days because I took my interview, I got the visa, and then I had to wait for my passport. And also the very interesting thing about the visa interview was like in India they were just giving students like 30 seconds and 1 minute. They were not even asking many questions. And for me, the first question they asked was like, why do you want to go to Iowa State? And then I said, I my research interest is in energy efficient stuff, and then there is a professor whom I like to work with. That's why I chose Iowa State. And then I think I also mentioned some kind of ranking, which was which is kind of stupid because it didn't really make sense. And then he asks like, why is this ranking important? And I had no answer, so I just randomly said that because it will actually look good on my resume. I mean, like a certificate that will be getting from the college, that will look good on my resume. So that is my answer. And after that, he said something, and I didn't even realize that if my visa is approved or not, because he took my passport and I didn't hear him saying approved or even denied or whatever. And then he just asked me to leave, and then I left. I was confused for the whole 5 days or something until I get the passport that I got visa or not. So yeah, that was funny incident. And after that, I had to come back to Nepal, and oh god, that 1 month after getting visa, that was crazy because after coming back, I had, I think, like three residential projects that I was working on as a freelancer, and then also the part time work that I was doing. And I had to finish all of them. And then what happened was I was working like every single day, going to municipal office, transferring my drawings to other people and stuff like that. I didn't have much time to even think about like the journey to US or stuff like that. And then one incident that happened when I was in the municipality was there was this one municipal engineer, and then I don't know, I he kept on mentioning that your drawing is wrong and stuff like that, and that actually hurt my ego so much. And I felt like, okay, I'm actually doing such a good job. I mean, I felt like, okay, this is the reason I don't want to stay in Nepal, because I felt like I'm an architect and I know how to do drawings, but still he was like digging the grave to find out some small mistakes and stuff. I mean, I do understand his position as well now, but looking back, I felt like that actually hurt because uh, I think even the municipal engineer, I don't want to say like he doesn't have any idea about design, but still, like it felt like I spent 5 years in architecture school, and this engineer guy is giving me some bullshit about I don't know about drawings. So, and it was also in front of my father, so you can imagine like how much hurt I was. And after that, I was like, okay, there is no chance that I'm coming back. That was my initial thinking. And after that, the whole month it just passed by, and the day came, the day to go to US. Actually, I want to rewind it 2 days before. So I had to take a COVID test. And what happened was I took the COVID test, I think in, I don't remember the name of hospital, but it was in Lalitpur. So I took the COVID test, and then I took it in a morning, and I think No, actually, I took it 2 days before. So yeah, I took it that day, 2 days before my flight, and then on the evening, I got the call saying that there might be slight positive in your result, and I was freaked out. Like, how could you even say like I have a slight positive and I don't have any symptoms or anything, and I have my flight in 2 days? And then I was like, okay, there is no chance. I'm trusting this result. So I went to another hospital, and I went back to the same hospital again just to confirm, so that I will have two results. And then I went to another hospital. Oh, actually, it was on the same day, not even 2 days before. Yeah, I just remember. I'm sorry for like blurring all the lines of time because, like COVID. And then after, it was on the same day. That's why I went to the, oh my God, not same day, the day before. And then I got the message from another hospital saying that, okay, you are negative, you are good to go. And the next day was my flight. I got that message, I think like 9 p.m. And then until that point, I was nowhere ready. Like I haven't even started packing or anything. And then we had some plans. My friends were supposed to come for the cake and stuff like that, but I said, okay. They told me that I have slight negative, so I don't know if I will be taking flight tomorrow. So and and then after, I started packing at like 10, and then after the things started getting real, I felt like, okay, I'm actually leaving tomorrow. And then after, I think I slept at like 2 a.m. in the morning, and I had to wake up at around like 6 7 because my flight was at 11, so I had to reach airport at least like 9 or 8:30ish. And then I told all my friends that reached there on like 8 around. But I woke up at 6, and like it takes so much time. And I think I reached airport at 9. And then after, I was not even able to soak all the emotions of leaving the country, because I mean, look, all the hassles that I've been through. Like I was working for a whole month, and then even on the day before leaving, I had the issue of the COVID thing. And then after, on the day of leaving, at 9, and then I just see off all my friends and family. And then when I was going towards the air, I mean, I was going inside the building, I didn't even turn back because I felt like if I turn back, then I will be very weak, and I didn't want to cry at that moment. So I didn't even turn back and didn't even look at my family after final see off. So I just went straight to airport building. And after that, I was alone in the building, and probably that was the time when it hits. It hits like, okay, I'm alone now. And then after, I boarded the plane, and when the plane took off, that was actually my first flight. Like, I never took any of the flight before, not even the domestic one. So I was just going to US directly, international flight, without any flight experience. So I was kind of scared, nervous, everything. And then after, I think that moment was quite surreal, because at that moment I felt like, okay, now things are getting real, because now I have to take care of everything by myself. And I thought I was ready, but I was not ready for the things that was coming. And then after, I landed in Qatar, and I had like 12 hours of layover or something. And then uh, at that time, it felt like I will still go back home, because I was still talking with my mom on my phone. And there was like this feeling inside that I will still go back. I mean, I was not able to soak that moment till that time. And then after, I took a flight, and another flight which was like 1 a.m. in the morning, and then another 15-16 hour flight, and then I landed on Chicago. So after landing on Chicago, things hit really hard, because when I landed on Chicago, it was like 12 p.m., noontime, something like that. And then I told my mom that I will call her after landing. And then I checked my phone after landing, and my phone was going wild, because my phone was a Chinese phone. I don't want to take name, but yeah. But the issue with the phone was when I landed, it just started going crazy. Like it was restarting all the time. And so it was restarting all the time. And I was not able to call, or I was not able to do anything with that. So I was like, how do I even call the person who is going to pick me up? So that was a crazy situation. And also, even from Chicago, I had to take Des Moines flight, and I don't know like what to do because Chicago airport is like huge, and I had no idea about where to go and where is my gate or anything. And even my phone was not like it. I don't even want to remember that. And then after I went to one police officer, and then I asked, like, I showed him my ticket, and he said, okay, this is your gate and you should go from there. And then I just went there, and then finally I got my flight to Des Moines. And during the flight I was sleepy, but at the same time there was only one thought in my mind, that how am I going to call the person who's going to pick me up? By the way, the person was Suraj Upadhyay. I'm really thankful for him because he supported me so much during 2 years time in masters in Iowa. So I'm really grateful for him. And then I landed on Des Moines, and luckily my phone, it didn't flicker like that earlier. So I messaged him, and then he came to pick me up. And then the feeling was interesting at that time because I was still able to talk in Nepali with someone at that point, because I still didn't feel like I'm in US, because like whole jet lag thing and everything. And then after, he took me to Walmart. So I had to buy so much stuff like your food and then other necessary things. And then interestingly, I just bought $1,500. So the reason for getting just $1,500 was, we were not allowed to take more than that. I mean, in terms of cash, you are not allowed to take more than 1,500. That's the rule of Nepal when I was coming. And then if you want to take more, then you have to make like a check draft and stuff like that. And I didn't have any time to prepare that, so I was like, okay, I'm just gonna take 1,500 cash, and let's see, I will figure it out, because my father will be paying the first semester tuition, and that was also arranged in a different way, which I will tell later. But yeah, the story of 1,500. So I just had $1,500, and then when we went to Walmart, I was checking price, and I felt everything was so pricey, and I started questioning myself, like, how am I going to survive in this country? Because even when I looked to the price tag of a bread, it was, I think, like $1. And like a naive mind, you will be converting everything to Nepali rupees. So $1 was like 130 Nepali rupees, and I'm like, how in the hell I'm going to survive? Because even the money that I'll be getting will be like just $900. And after that, I think I spent like $100 on the Walmart, and it was just for the necessary things. I didn't even buy anything unnecessary, but still, like, I spent $100 and I just had 1,400 now. So I started questioning myself, like, can I even survive for 2 years? Like, how do I even manage paying my tuition? Because I had to pay like 3,500, 3,500, 3,700 around, and I was getting $900 per month. And how do I even manage that? That was my question to myself. And then, and later on, I went to my dorm, and that was the first time it hit me really hard that I'm actually alone in this country. So at that time, I prepared my food, and then I ate my food, and then I was completely alone in the apartment. And alone in the apartment, alone in the country, that felt like, okay, why do I even choose to come here? And then I called my mom, and then she started crying. And that was the first time I cried. And I just hung up because I didn't want to show my emotions to my emotion to my mom. And that night was really hard. And then after tomorrow, there was another guy. I think he came pretty late. And then when I heard that guy was outside in the living room, I was so excited. I just wanted to talk with him because I didn't even, I felt like there's no one for me at that time. And then I went out and then I talked with him, and he was actually counseling me pretty good because he said, yeah, he came during COVID and he was also facing similar thing. So yeah, first few days it was really hard, and then after, I mean, I was like, okay, all the money that I have, it's not going to be enough for me to survive and pay my tuition. So I think my college was starting on August 23rd. So I directly went to ISU dining because I was like, okay, I need to earn something else. And then I went to ISU dining and college on the same day. And then they said they will do some interview, phone interview and stuff, and I can join from the week after. And then I started working on college dining. So that was like a very reality check, I guess, because I was among the that son who never worked in in his house, and now I'm here in another country where I have to do dish. I have to make food for other people, and also I was working as an architect in Nepal, so I thought like I have some kind of standards. That was crazy me. And then I was working on dining, and then my shift was 10 hours a week, so I was doing 3 hours um, of dishwashing on Saturdays, and other day I had other jobs like making pizzas and then floater. So yeah, that's how I was working at that time. And then during my first semester, I think it was a little bit tough for me because I'm that kind of guy. I need some time to adjust with people. I cannot really like go and talk with new people at the first. I mean, I have the YouTube channel, so people might think that I'm very extrovert kind of guy. I think I'm extrovert, but still I need that time to get used to with the people first. So first semester I didn't have much friends as well, and I was just working on dining and then doing my projects. And and I was actually thinking at that time, like, how am I going to pay tuition for the next semester? Because this semester my dad, he already paid that. So what I did was I told my dad to transfer the same amount of money to other person in Nepal, and I can get this in dollar from the one guy whose name is Amit. I'm also thankful for him. So he gave me that money, so I paid my tuition for that semester. So for the next semester, when I was doing calculations, I was I I still would be like around $1,500 shorts to get like $3,700, even though I will be saving everything from ITA and dining. And I don't know why, but in life, I've always felt like I always get money from somewhere. I mean, luckily, I don't know. I always get money from somewhere if I am really struggling. So at that point, there's this one guy. He told me about the laptop loaner program in Iowa State. So the laptop loaner program was they will give you $2,000 to buy a laptop. So I applied for that, and luckily I got that $2,000. So I was actually set for next semester because I had that $2,000 and the savings. So after that, I'm like, okay, now I can be on peace because I can pay my next semester tuition fee. And also during first semester, not just the money thing, even the courses was pretty hard, pretty different because I had no experience of using Rhino at all. And we had to use Rhino and then Grasshopper and this software called Climate Studio. So I had to learn all of that within a semester. And so I was workaholic at that time, just watching tutorial and then watching videos on how to do it all the time. So that's how I got passed by my first semester. And during first semester, there is this one interesting story. So I think everyone would comply with the story, every international student. So I on a Halloween party, my friend Fires and other people, they invited me to this one bar, and it was on Friday. So on Friday I used to have shift in dining. It was from 6 to 9, and then I told them that yeah, I will join you guys a little bit later after 9. So, and after finishing my shift, I went to that bar just to realize that I don't have an ID. Like, how stupid I am. I don't even have an ID, and I said I will come. And then they didn't let me into the building, into the club. And after that, I thought about going back home. And then I checked. It was 10. And the last bus to go to my place, it already left 10 minutes before. So I had no options to go back home except for walking, because Ames is very small city. So they didn't even have like good Uber or Lyft or anything. So it was so cold in the winter, Ames cold. So I think there was like a little bit of snow as well. And I didn't even have a good jacket. I don't remember. So I walked back home. I think it took me like 45 minutes or 1 hour to reach my home. And after when I reached home, I had such a mixed emotion. I just wanted to like punch something or like cry or whatever. Like it was such a mixed emotion. And it hit so hard because I would say I was among the privileged kid back in Nepal, because I never had to struggle for stuff like that. So yeah, that was the first reality check. No, I would say second reality check after Chicago. So after that, and I think I went to buy a jacket after that. And when I went to buy a jacket, it was around $300. So you can imagine like how big that money was for me, because I I was earning 900. So if I spend 300 on the jacket, then what I'm gonna do? Because my rent was 400, and I need some money for food as well. And they said there is some student discount, and I got it at 200. But still, that was another panic attack to me, that how am I going to manage money again? So I feel like every international student, they have this issue of how to manage money all the time in their head. And after that, um, I got the jacket and everything. So yeah, I lost the train of my thoughts. So let me go back. Okay, I will start with some other story. So after that, second semester started, and second semester was, I think it was a little bit light, because the studio I picked was not that intense. So even on that semester, I was working on dining. So I worked on dining for like a full year. And during the spring semester, we used to have a career fair. So during that career fair, you will be going and talking with the companies, and you will be showing your um, resume and portfolio, and then there is a chance that they will take you for interview, or you will get hired. So stuff like that. And then I put myself on the pressure at that time, before career fair, that I need to have a very good portfolio to get the internship, because I need internship. I had to get it. Otherwise, how do I pay money for the next year? So that was my only goal. But I mean, that story didn't end well initially, because my portfolio, I thought my portfolio that I used to apply for the school is not good enough. So I thought about changing my portfolio and making a new one, which was supposed to be good, but that ended up to be the worst portfolio that I've ever made, at least in my opinion. So that portfolio was bright yellow. So I don't even know why I use that color now. And then after I went to talk with so many people in that career fair, and even the resume I prepared, it was so childish. Like I am so embarrassed even to show that resume now, because at that point I think I didn't know how the resume people would want. I mean, the US standard resume, because they really want to have a very plain, simple looking resume. But my resume was like so much colorful, maybe look like a wanted kind of pamphlet. So that was my stupidity to create that kind of resume because I thought I would stand out. And then after, I didn't get internship offer or interview offer from anyone from the career fair. But luckily, I applied to this one firm called SBNA in Ames, and they thankfully responded. And it was also not very far from my place. So I got the internship there, and they provided me with like a very good money. And then I worked for 3 months there. And I used to bike. I used to use cycle to go to the intern office because I didn't have the car at that point, and I was like, I cannot even afford a car, so I was using cycle. So I was. It just reminded me of my situation back home because I had my motorbike, and I felt like how much privileged I was at that point because I was riding my bike, going anywhere I want, and not even caring about my salary because it was just the pocket money. Because like rent and everything was taken care by my father. I mean, not rent. We have a house, but still, like I didn't have to think about rent, electricity, or anything. So I think that helped me a lot to move into that adulthood. And I guess every international student would agree on this thing. And then during that internship, I I always had that thought in my mind that next career fair I have to give my 110% to get a job. Otherwise, I'm going to end up either in Ames or not even in Ames. I might have to go back. And I was like, if I have spent 2 years here, then I would like to take as much of an advantage I can get, as much of an opportunity, because that's what I wanted. That's why I'm here for. And then even during internship time, I was taking few courses from Think Parametric because I always wanted to learn more about computational designs and stuff. So I took that course, Rhino and Revit, how to link them together. It was by Oliver Thomas from Big. So in that course, I learned how to connect Rhino and Revit together in an easy workflow. And that actually came really handy next semester because after that internship, when I went back to school, we had one of the intense studio, like intense that I've ever done because I was working crazy hours, 12 hours a day. Like I was not even sleeping properly. So uh, I'm actually thankful for my decision that I took that course because it helped so much to prepare all the plans and stuff in Revit and at the same time design few elements in the Rhino and linking them together. And I also want to thank you to my partner at that time, Ati, because without you, I wouldn't have done that semester that good. So I'm very thankful to you as well. And on that studio, I would say that was the key studio for me because on that studio we had a professor named Bosak Her. Bosak, thank you so much because I feel like if I hadn't been in your studio, I wouldn't have got this job as well. So that studio helped me a lot to enrich my design thinking, my graphical illustrations skills, and so many things. And although I was working crazy hours, looking back, I feel like it's fine because I was doing it for a purpose. And one interesting thing about that studio was I was pre-planning everything for my portfolio for my job because I already knew that my portfolio sucks and I want to create something really good. And I started preparing my portfolio on October, and I will be graduating on 2023 May, but I started making portfolio on 2022 October. So I was planning like way ahead, and I I think like I finished 2 3 projects in my portfolio, and I was discussing with Bosak and also Deep Chanaria. I'm sorry if I pronounce his last name incorrectly, Deep. So he's from Picard Shelton. So he also helped me a lot. We did one conversation, and then I showed him my portfolio, and then he gave me some ideas, and I did some modification. So yeah, doing review of portfolio is very important in my opinion. And on that studio, what I was doing was I already had a set style for my portfolio. So I was doing all the drawings and all the graphical illustration as per my studio, as per my portfolio. And I'm thankful to Athi that she allowed me to do that. And that's why my that actually helped me to finish my portfolio on time. I think I finished my portfolio around like December. So I started applying for the job from December 2022, because I would say I was freaked out, because if you don't get a job, then you will be kicked out of this country. And that's why I was preparing myself so early for that. And I started applying in December, and during that time my whole sleep cycle was messed up, because I was tensed because I have to get a job. That's why I used to sleep all day and I used to wake up all night. And I was searching for the connections, and I was sending people email messages in LinkedIn just to show my portfolio to them, so that if I can get any referral by any chance to get an interview in the architecture office. So that was my strategy. So um, I was messaging anyone I see, like into the any firm that I want to work with. I used to message the people there, because I just wanted to stand out among the crowd by showing my work and also my making connection. And I was applying and applying and applying, and after that, 2 months already passed by. It was already February 2023. So at that point, I got, I think, like few good referrals to get a few good referrals in a very good architectural firm like Corgan, and then Populous, HDR, HKS. What else? I think more. There were even more, and I had interview back to back. I think I got like 5 to 6 interviews. It was back to back in the same week, which was good as well. And also, I would like to thank all the people who provided referral at that time. Niluja Di, and then uh, Ashistai, um, and then Janvi Di. She works at HDR, and then after, yeah, a few other people. And what happened was I did all my interviews, and then when I did my interview with Corgan, I think I got a call a day before from Josh, who was in human resource, and then he said, "Yeah, you will be getting interviews. So I just want to tell you about the company." And I was like, "Okay, I'm so happy because I'm at least getting an interview." So the next day when interview happened, it was very chilled interview. And one really interesting thing happened was they asked me about my arc stories. So I was excited to tell them about it, because I said, this is a platform where I show my work. Also, I want to share my experience so that there will be people who want to know about the school in the US, the design process, and everything. So this is just the thing that I want to do in my free time. And after that, luckily, I got the job offer the next day. And when I got the job offer, I was so happy, because I was like, okay, I don't have to think about this all the thing anymore now. I was so much relieved. I was like, okay, I'm finally done with this stuff now. So I had a job, I think like February 15 or something like that. February 15, I don't actually remember. I'm so sorry. I am really bad with dates and names. People who know me, they know me. And then after, I had a job even before the career fair. So I was so relieved that on career fair, I will just go there and talk with people, just tell them about my personality, my work. So I didn't have any pressure at all. So I like to suggest anyone who is looking for a job, just try to prepare early, and also um, try to get the job offer if possible before career fair, so that you don't have any stress during that time. And after that, there was another issue, money, because that was the last semester. And what happened was all the money that I have accumulated, oh my god, English, that I had saved during my internship, it was going down rapidly because I paid my 2 semester tuition fee, third and fourth, and I was not even working at dining at that point because I just wanted to focus on my portfolios and my school, and I thought I could afford it. But on the last semester, I felt like, okay, I don't have enough money now. And also on that semester, we were going to Boston, and it was 2 weeks trip. So everything was um, managed, like the flight and the stay there, hotel, everything was managed by Shelby. Thank you, Shelby, for that. And then we were going for the Autodesk residency, so we were doing all the 3D printings and stuff, which was so amazing experience. But I was like, how do I manage the money even for the food at that time? Because when I checked my bank balance, I was like, okay, I don't know what to do now. And still, what happened was I went to eat hot pot at that time, and it actually costed me $70. And coming from Ames, where I was just paying like $12, $13 max, I would say $20 for a meal to eat out, then I paid $70 in Boston. And after that, I was like, god, how do I going to manage remaining things now? And I think I ate noodles for 2 days there just to save money for the remaining trip, because I was like, otherwise I'm not gonna make it. And after coming back, I was like, okay, this is the last semester. I don't really want to stress myself with money thing because I have a job. I mean, I was confident that my offer letter won't be canceled before even joining. So I thought that I can use my credit card, I can use credits, and then later repay it. And then I started using credit card at that point, and I started being a little bit chilled in terms of money because I feel like I'm a very calculated person because I just want to plan things ahead of time because I don't want to face the struggle later. That's just my personality. And then I went out with my friends so many times at that time because I thought this is the last time that I'm going to have fun with these guys. So I didn't care much about the money at that point. So I went out, enjoy, had some food, and then graduated on May 2023. And when I graduated, I realized I came in this country with $1,500. And when I graduated, I just had $1,500. So I felt like the whole thing came into a circle. Like how I started and how it ended. All the money that I made within school, in internship, everything went for my expenses, everything went for the school tuition. So yeah, if anyone's expecting that they will be earning lots of money as a student, please don't put any false expectations unless you work something other, which I don't want to mention. Yeah, this is like the whole story that I wanted to confine. I don't know, I feel it's still long, but I feel like I can still go more, but I think that's all for today. My throat is already bad. So yeah, this is the final episode of My Axe Stories season 1, and yeah, we'll be coming back with more next in next 2 months. I'm not really sure, but I have to plan, but it will go English in next season. So I will trying to bring more stories of international students and also how they tackle with those things, because this was my story and I told you how I tackled it. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoy this podcast, I don't know, just let me know in the comments below or whatever, DM. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for listening. Bye bye.